Good evening. This is Bill Burns of KDKA Television News. And in the news tonight is WQED, Metropolitan Pittsburgh's educational television station, or for short, Channel 13. Television that for 5 years has been pleasing the preschool child, the student, the mature adult. WQED, one of the nation's truly great educational television stations, born in the dynamic environment that is the new Pittsburgh. You know, in the last 5 years, as the vision of Pittsburgh has grown, so has grown the vision of WQED. Out of the stimuli, which today is creating a new city of Pittsburgh, has come much of the ambition which has created WQED Channel 13. Today, WQED is recognized throughout the world. It has become the pace setter for all of educational television, performing scores of public services, producing many programs for viewing across the nation, dedicated to the improvement of man's lot on a large scale.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be with you tonight. I'm Ed Conway of WIIC Channel 11, and at the top of the news is what is going on at WQED. Who is its audience? What can you, the viewer, expect from WQED in the years to come? In terms of size, WQED's audience doesn't compare with the hundreds of thousands of Western Pennsylvanians who watch commercial television every week. But every week, thousands of people turn with increasing satisfaction to Channel 13 for programs of educational purpose and excitement. WQED exists for the sole purpose of offering education, not education that is dry, but entertaining education in all forms and at all levels. WQED operates non-commercially, relying for its income on contributions from foundations, business and industry, civic organizations, school districts, and on money contributed by you, the viewer.
John B. Hughes of WTAE Channel 4 Telecom News. And this is the story behind WQED, Metropolitan Pittsburgh's educational television station. For the real story, we go back to 1951, when Pittsburgh's mayor, now Governor David L. Lawrence, called a meeting of the 14 colleges and universities in this area, as well as representatives of various civic and cultural groups, to explore the feasibility of establishing an educational television station in Pittsburgh. With the backing of such groups as the Allegheny Conference on Community Development, a privately financed citizens organization dedicated to the advancement of community interests, the Mayor's Committee on Educational Television approved the establishment of a non-profit corporation to administer an educational television station for the Pittsburgh district.
But that was just the beginning. The Ford Foundation, the A.W. Mellon Trust, and the Arbuckle Jameson Foundation made grants totaling $350,000 for the equipment to begin the operation of WQED. The Westinghouse Broadcasting Corporation granted WQED the use of its FM tower above the Pitt Stadium. 3 years after WQED began operations, Westinghouse gave the tower, the transmitter building, and the property to Channel 13. The Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company conveyed a deed to the University of Pittsburgh for the present studio and office buildings of WQED. Pitt immediately made the property available to Channel 13.
And so on April 1st, 1954, WQED, Metropolitan Pittsburgh's educational television station, took to the air on Channel 13. Now, what has happened to WQED in 5 short years? Progress. That's the top of the news. For example, WQED is now programming 85 hours every week as compared to 15 hours a week 5 years ago. Now, when WQED began its experiment in direct teaching to the schools, the station taught subjects to 20 classrooms in 16 schools. Today, WQED is reaching nearly 1,500 classrooms in 358 schools. Progress? Yes. WQED was the first station to televise a complete Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra concert from Syria Mosque. WQED was the first Pittsburgh television station to move its staff and equipment to South Park to telecast the entire Allegheny County Fair for 5 days. WQED has brought many great personalities to Pittsburgh to film the station's Heritage series of programs for network showing. People like Robert Frost, Eleanor Roosevelt, H.V. Keltonborn, and Bruce Catton. WQED produced the television debut of Martha Graham, America's greatest ballet artist, when the station made A Dancer's World. And Miss Graham starred in the WQED production of Aaron Copland's ballet Appalachian Spring.
These two are evidence of WQED's progress. These awards for distinguished service. The 1957 George Foster Peabody Award for WQED's impeccable taste and integrity. The Sylvania Award for the production of Josie Carey's Children's Corner. The 1958 Thomas Alva Edison Award for the station that best served youth. Awards from the film festivals at Venice, Edinburgh, and Prague for Martha Graham's A Dancer's World. All of these awards and many more coveted awards presented to WQED in Pittsburgh, a pioneer in educational television.
Speaking of progress, a high point in 5 years of service by WQED was the recent debut of a sister station, WQEX, operating on Channel 16, making metropolitan Pittsburgh educational television station WQED the first station in the world to operate 2 channels. This achievement, like all progress made by WQED, has been made possible only through the combined efforts of many people. And the man who is most qualified to speak to these people, the general manager of WQED, William C. Dempsey.
WQED has been making progress. Progress which in a large measure is due to the members of our board of directors, business and industry, to the newspapers, to the commercial radio and television broadcasters of this area, to each and every member of our staff, and of course to the many, many volunteers and friends who have contributed their time and the funds necessary to operate WQED. You know, we're very proud of WQED's record, and we're eagerly looking forward to the next 5 years. It appears evident that the demand for community service by WQED and WQEX will continue to increase as the years go by. And we realize that we must make every effort to keep ahead of that demand with expanded and improved programming for you viewers. Tonight, as we celebrate the end of 5 years of pioneering in community television, we pledge that WQED and WQEX will maintain their high standards and will continually try to improve this educational television service for Western Pennsylvania.
This, then, is WQED plus 5, the end of 5 years of progress for community educational television in Pittsburgh, the beginning of another 5 years destined to be historical years for WQED and its sister station, WQEX.
WQED and WQEX are already engaged in important projects and program ideas for the next year. Projects to reflect anew the vast range of possibilities for educational television. Programs and ideas to reaffirm basic principles that link the past 5 years of performance to the future and its promise.
I speak for Ed Conway of WIIC Channel 11 and John B. Hughes of WTAE Channel 4 when I ask you to stay tuned to Channel 13 for the next 18 hours of all-star birthday entertainment. While you're enjoying the program featuring the greats of show business, pledge your support to WQED and WQEX for another year. WQED, whose birthday we celebrate tonight, has become the leader in educational television. It has become a competitor of commercial television. It has pioneered in a great program of cultural enrichment. Only through your help can WQED and now its sister station WQEX continue to grow, bringing to a vast audience of people broad new public services. Make your pledge to WQED and WQEX tonight. This has been Bill Burns speaking.